Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Before we start, I think there was a question. Somebody met me in the lift and said, why and what is order right? So I think after 2 years, this is probably the right forum to introduce that. So before we actually start the event, we have a small video to answer that question, and then we kick off. I hope that was a good introduction. So with that, I welcome you all to the event, which is the Order Right Launch 6.0. For all of the IPL fans or viewers here, this is similar to what we call the RCB unboxing event. So if all of you have been part of the unboxing event, we're trying to unbox Order Right here. So without much ado, I hand it over to the team coach, Ravi, to give us an introduction.
Thank you. I think we keep releasing many products across the organization, and maybe we are releasing every month. Some of the other version release keep going on. So why we are kind of making such a big deal, if you wonder. I guess this is quite important and milestone for Merge AI as a group, and this particular solution, how it will help is something which I want to cover, right? So I think this solution, right, if you go back I think this been envisaged that we should make supply chain and merchandise a deeper solutions, right? So we are, with this solution, we can proudly say that it's a inch wide and mile deep solution has come in, which will solve supply chain problem with AI as a background. That's something which this solution gives, and it's a pretty, it's a point solution, impactful point solution which is getting released. That's something which we have. I think we are hitting a gold mine here, and that's the reason I think it's a big deal to release it today. And with this we can actually get we can go into an infinite possibility. The way this entire solution is coming up, right? So there are 3 layers: the AI, the data, analytics, and collaboration. If we club these 4 pods, you can actually come up with infinite solutions for merchandise, supply chain, and many other industries as well. So what we have done in the background when we are releasing this product is an important thing, that these all three things are clubbed in such a way that a solution which can solve business problems with human intervention can happen through this solution. So it's a remarkable stage we are at, and I think it will take us to a new journey altogether. The future is bright for us with this. So we have come a long way, like I think Rashmi alluded a minute. So we have, it's not just a product release, it has gone through customer cycles as well. So I think we have come across customers' needs, we have interacted with customer, we made them successful on this product, and then we are releasing this product. So it's matured, it is ready, it is ready to rock the world. That's what we think we have done last 1.5 years, not just product and engineering, but we have acquired good customer goodwill and some success as well along the way. I think we have covered good road here, but we'll go furthermore. We have lots of to come up, and it's an interesting journey which we are up to, and more I think Sankha will cover. Before that, I'll request Atul Jalan to give us some 2 words of advice on it.
First of all, nice to see all of you in person. So, good afternoon. And I know the OrderRite team is very well aware of what OrderRite is and so on and so forth, but people who have not been so deeply involved with OrderRite, here is a simpler version of what OrderRite is. In any retailing environment, as you can understand, the most important business decision is, sorry, I thought I was loud enough now. Okay, so one of the most important business, shall I start from the beginning? Good afternoon. it's nice to see you in person. Okay, I wish to see you more in person from here onwards. Work from home will only serve limited capabilities. Beyond that, it's corruption anyways. And you all, and hand on heart, you all know that. And corruption will not take either you individually or the organization anywhere forward. Okay, there will be a payback time. Okay, so you have to really ponder over it most honestly, as individual and as collective. Coming to OrderRite, people who have been involved with OrderRite know what OrderRite is. Okay, people have not been so involved. A simpler description of what OrderRite is that in a retailing environment, one of the most critical business decision, as you would understand, is forecasting my demand, forecasting my sales. How much of this I will sell in next 1 week, next month, next quarter, and so on, so forth. And you have to do that at scale. Imagine doing that over thousands, tens of thousands, million SKUs, right? And you have to do it not only over that large number of SKUs, you have to do it over large number of stores, because different stores would have different sales velocity and sales lift and so on and so forth. And then there are events of weather, then there are events of promotions, and there are events of competition, and so on and so forth. So that all that has to go into retailer basically be able to forecast what their sales and demand would look like. Okay, and basis of that, a retailer puts an advance order with their suppliers. We don't go to a retail store, ask for this, and they call somebody to place an order, right? Okay, they are anticipating what their orders, customer demand would be. So the OrderRite is our ability to use machine learning to predict and anticipate what that sales and demand would look like, and therefore trigger many upstream applications. One major upstream application is replenishment. Replenishment means that you will be running out of this bottle, okay, by tomorrow, and this is your sales, what it looks like by store and by day, by week, by month, by quarter for, let's say, next 4 months. So this is the quantity you should order at the HO level. This is the quantity that you should be allocating to this XYZ store. Is that clear? Okay, now demand forecasting. Now, why go hyper local? Less hyper local is that you have to think by store, right? What would be the demand in that store? We as a consumer are not dealing with all the chains, right? We as a consumer, our experience is formed by dealing with the store that we interact with. Okay, so you have to get that right at individual specific store level. And that's a huge AI, there's a huge machine learning, there's a huge business level challenge, and if you can crack it, solution on the same. Make sense? Okay, now demand, the Gangotri, no, this is important, the Gangotri of all that is demand forecasting. Unless I get a sense of what am I going to sell, I can't decide how much I should pre-order. Okay, what quantity of this I should pre-order, what quantity of that and this and that I should order, right? Okay. Similarly, I will not get into a class on this. Happy to do a whatever you can call it, master class, if you are keen on how these things work. There are many other applications. Personally speaking, I am very excited about order right at so many levels. We can also call it 1.0. Okay, we can call it 10.0, 6.0. To my mind, in a very philosophical sense, it is a 1.0. Okay, and I'll explain why philosophical sense, in my view, it's 1.0. But that will come in page number 20th. Right now, I'm in preface. So, where was I? I went completely off script. Anyway, so where I was, oh yeah, I'm thinking, I'm so hot with the idea of order right. The torch was on and I was burning here. So, no, I'll come to that. That's page number 20, as I said. First is congratulations. No, honestly, big congratulations. It's truly a red letter day. It's not a pep talk. It's truly a red letter day, a historical day, a milestone in history of ergonomy, as it were. It's not bringing up a product is not easy. Is as challenging as building up a new business. Okay, as challenging as building anything in life. It will go through its phases of rejection, of self-doubt, of all kind of negativity that you can think about it. Am I capable of it? Is there a market enough to do it? Can I engineer it? Can I develop a product? Can I market it? Can I sell it? You will have all kind of doubts that you can think about. To endure all that requires a different level of conviction, different level of character, different level of capabilities. So I truly bow to somebody and to us here collectively who have successfully endured that phase. To my mind, that is, success is guaranteed from this point onwards. Okay, I think failure happens if the inability to endure that journey. So I think with 6.0 or what I call 1.0 is because I think all that before 6.0 was some milestone in overcoming that journey where you are full with self-doubt. Okay, will enough people buy this? Okay, today I can tell you I would be most disappointed, not only because of my vested interest as a founder CEO of this company, just as a professional, as a thinking person as well, if Order Right was not to go and become a absolutely unqualified blockbuster success. Okay, there aren't many, there aren't many, absolutely. And I think thinking anything below a global leadership, a global dominance through that, making this a de facto solution for a food, grocery, convenience, pharmacy, kind of retailer, I think, oh, sorry, I'll start again, don't worry. So yeah, where were we? So I think, I think setting our eyesight, okay, our vision on anything less, even this much less from that global leadership would be dissatisfying, to say the least. Okay, and I'm sure some of you are aware why this is 1.0, because this also comes with some great wins. Some of the biggest names in food and grocery has signed up for Order Right. Dairy Farm International, a lot of you are aware. Okay, so Dairy Farm International out of Singapore, and Dairy Farm International is a global food chain. They are most prominently seen in Southeast Asia, and that has been a very hard-fought win. Ravi, Santosh, Shankha, Abhishek, absolute, very gorgeously done. Okay, and then we have also had success with True Value. Okay, we have had, and all these products, by the way, these are very matured retailers. They are very large size retailers. They are a multi-billion dollar retailers with very complex operations. Okay, and they have all kind of tool technology that you could expect. They are not new to demand forecasting and replenishment also. They have had other softwares and technology working there. And we were put through test. We had to go through a very clearly defined POC and so on and so forth. And we were competing against software that they were working with so far. They, as I said, they are a matured businesses. And yet to come up triumphs, yet to kind of show much better result than whatever else they were achieving with whatever else that they had, is truly a testimony to what all of you have built. So once again, congratulations. And as I said, I know Shankha and Ravi has planned a big agenda for, so I won't take much time. 2-3 things again, I'll repeat. To my mind, at Algonomy, now we need to think about scale. We need to think about being happy or satisfied with 10 units being sold of Order Right, or 15 or 20 should not be even part of our mindset, planning and thinking. We should be thinking about how can we sell this in hundreds. Okay, and so good luck. And once again, I am very, 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 very excited. As I said, it's not easy, guys. Yeah, you think about 10,000 ideas, and one kind of sees a light of the day, and probably 0.1 goes on to win customers like DFI and All Value. And as I said, all that you have to go through in between, right kind of team, in terms of talent, in terms of capability, in terms of chemistry, in terms of so many things to fall through, I think is magic. Yes, and so I celebrate that magic. And after all that magic, if we don't build on this, then it's a shame on us. And I know we are self-respecting professionals and individuals, and we take pride in our performance. And even when you are not working, while working from home, the solace I take is that you all are self-respecting people who take pride in performance. And performance is not only you judge when your favorite cricketer or politician or film actor is on TV. Yeah, the same standard you hold them to, I'm sure you hold yourself also to same standards of performance. Having said that, Ravi, good luck, man.
Thank you, Atul. Moving on, I think Atul's given a wide overview of the product, but then hearing it from the captain himself, not Virat Kohli, Faf du Plessis, because it's a foreign captain that we have. Here's presenting Sanka to introduce the product through a demo.
Hi everyone. How are you guys? Come on guys, I need more energy. This is going to be a fun event, right? I need more energy, lots of excitement, right? Come on, round of applause, come on. Now, as Atul said, today's a special day, right? Why is that, right? Of course, one reason is all of us are in the office, in person, after a long time, right? I think it's amazing, right? I always love that, to be part of that energy, to be part of that excitement. It's also very, very special because we actually just heard about this DFI win just a couple of days back, right? When Abhishek confirmed this just a couple of days back, it was just amazing. And I feel like we can celebrate that itself, but that is not the reason. We are launching OrderRite 6.0. Even that is not the reason why today is such a special day. Today is such a special day because we are solving a problem that retailers have been facing for decades, if not for centuries. And OrderRite 6.0 solves that problem of hyperlocal forecasting and replenishment planning. And by doing that, we are changing the way how retailing is done forever. And that's why today is a special day, guys. Now, what is hyperlocal? I think Atul already mentioned about that. Hyperlocal is, if you look at a typical retailer, you carry somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 SKUs in one location. And if you look at a mid-sized retailer, you typically have somewhere between 50 to 100 locations. So multiply that, you get, on average, about 1 million product store locations. And you cannot manually do anything with 1 million, right? You cannot, right? So even if you look at the softwares, right, which are there, right? Even the softwares, right, cannot do it at this hyperlocal level, or cannot treat these 1 million product location combinations. That is why hyperlocal is so special. And that is what OrderRite is solving. Now, at Algonomy, we believe that seeing is believing. When I say anything to Atul, Atul asks, can I see that? Because seeing is believing, right? So, we want to show how we have cracked this hyperlocal scaling problem. That's the first piece that we want to show. So, let's fire up OrderRite 6.0 and let's see how we have solved this hyperlocal problem. Right, now, I think we need a round of applause. Now, what you see here is, look at the first group. It has 115,000 product location combinations, right? Now, what we want to do is, we want to quickly be able to generate an individual customized forecast for all these 115,000 product store combinations. And that is what we are going to do live right now. Let's do that. Now, while that happens, let me just quickly talk about why this is such a difficult problem to solve. First, there is the algorithm problem that we need to solve. It's processing, it's processing. There is an algorithmic problem to solve. As I said, if you look at any software, what they do is broad brush. They have one simple rule, then they apply it to all of these product store combinations. That is not what we are doing. We are custom building a model for each of these product store locations. And in forecasting, there's no silver bullet algorithm, which means we have to look at thousands and thousands of candidate models and need to select the best one for each of these 1 million, as an example, product store combinations. And that's not easy. On the technology side, right, that again, that pulls up many, many problems. These kind of operations where you call algorithms, these are what we call as asynchronous operations. Because to build an algorithm, it takes some time. So how do we do this at scale? Which means in our architecture, there are many things that we need to do, right? As an example, just as an example, there are massive queues. And these queues are parallel because there shouldn't be one point of failure. So the queues are parallel, the APIs are parallel, the listeners are parallel. And we have implemented this within Kubernetes, which means we can scale up or scale down on demand. So all of these algorithmic things we have done. And on top of that, what we have is a UI UX problem. What we have is a UI UX problem. Because you have these 1 million combinations, and we cannot overwhelm the user with all these 1 million things. Then it will be just too much for the user. But at the same time, if someone wants to do something at this granularity, we should still let them do that. So that is why it becomes a UI UX problem as well. So we have solved the algorithmic problem, we have solved the technology problem, we have solved the UI UX problem, and that's why this is such a big deal. I think it's taken a little bit longer than we thought. We'll come back to this. Now, once we generate a forecast, right? So, the next thing you want to do is you want to see what the forecast is. And in OrderWrite, what we have done is we can either go to these view screens and see what the forecast is, or else we can just ask Maya. That's another thing that we are doing. By doing that, we are actually changing how we are actually interacting with software interfaces. And I think this is the future, where we just ask for questions and then we get the answer. And that is what we are doing. And I think with that, we have actually onboarded Maya as well, right? And I think that's also a big milestone. Welcome on board, Maya. Oh, this is done. Phew. So let's go to that screen. Let's spend a little bit of time on that. So this is the one we did. Is this the one? Right. So we can do it really fast, right? You can see we've started it at 454. And we've been able to do this 100,000 product store locations at mere 1.5 minutes. That's going hyperlocal. That's the problem that I talked about solving. And we've solved this in a really cost-effective way as well. To build 1 million forecasts and to do 1 million replenishment plans and to do this multiple times, sometimes a week, it costs us less than $200 per month. That's solving the problem. Now, when it comes to forecast, what's the next big question you have in your mind? MAPE? Accuracy? Accuracy? Audience? Accuracy. Okay. Right, right. Let's look at the accuracy. Because I think we are absolutely killing the accuracy question in OrderRite 6.0. Now, when we talk about forecasting accuracy, the first thing we need to do is, now we do this at scale, so we have to bring credibility into this process. How do we bring credibility into this forecasting process? Is by providing visibility. Visibility means credibility. Now, this is one example of one of these things getting trained. Now you can see, we have, in this case, we have used 306 candidate algorithms and we have selected the best one. You can see that we have looked at all of this data. We have looked at the outliers. We have corrected it within the algorithm itself before doing any model training. And you can see all the results for the testing data as well. So this, and you can see, these are all the features, or what we call as predictors, that has gone into this model. And we can see what is the level of significance for each of these predictors. That brings lots of visibility and credibility into the process. And that's very important. That's the first step. But looking at testing data itself will not convince people 100%. They want to validate it with real data. And that is what we are doing with this feature called Forecast Analyzer. Now, what is Forecast Analyzer? Now, if we look at people doing accuracy, there's no uniform way of doing that. Different people do it different ways. And many times, these methods are very, very crude. You just have on one column in Excel, you have your forecast, then you have your actual, and then you calculate some percentage. And they say, okay, this is the accuracy. But that's very, very crude. Because sometimes your forecast does not match with your actuals because you are out of stock, right? So we have to correct for that when we report for accuracy. That's what we are doing here. So we are looking at multiple scenarios and adjusting for these scenarios. As an example, out of stock scenario. Sometimes there's a difference between the planned discount and the actual discount given. We are adjusting for that. Sometimes there are some unprecedented peak because maybe you just did a bulk sale. You cannot capture that. We need to treat for that. Sometimes there are new products where you have just few data points and you really cannot achieve that kind of accuracy. So we are basically handling for all of these situations. And basically we are bringing uniformity and we are bringing sophistication to accuracy reporting. That is what Forecast Analyzer does. And that's one way of killing this accuracy question. Finally, I want to show one more thing. This is some benchmarking exercise that we've done. We've compared our algorithm with other algorithms that are available in the market for publicly available data. Now, anyone can do this. And we've compared how our accuracy stack up with other products. And we can see out of these 46 data sets, our forecasting has aced it or ranks at the very top for 16 of them. And we are beating AWS, we are beating R, Python, DataRobot in the process. That's why we think we are absolutely killing the accuracy problem. Now, we've talked about accuracy, and I'm sure all of you guys want to have a look at a forecast. That is what OSMA has here. Now, this is the product we are looking at out of these 100,000 models or forecasts that we just built. This is the product name, olive oil, 1 liter. Now you can see the forecast, yeah, all good. But now, what is the reason for this peak? Let's look at the predictors. Let's look at the discount. Let's look at the discount variable. And let's see. We should be able to overlay this, right? Yeah. So this is the overlay. So we can see at the point of that peak, there's a very high discount, right? So that explains this peak. But now the question is, all right, but what happens to a similar product which was not on discount? What is the impact? So let's look at this product which was not on promotion. Now you can see for the same time point, there is a drop for that product, which means we are not only capturing the spike of demand due to the promotion, but we are also capturing demand shift from the promoted product, demand shift from the non-promoted product to the promoted product. And this is, my friend, is called in-store cannibalization. And we are the first product in the market which solves in-store cannibalization at scale without any human intervention. All this happens automatically.
So you are saying in-store cannibalization would be a private label cannibalizing a national brand?
So we think we are in-store cannibalization certified.
How do you factor demand of a category in general?
Shall we finish, Atul, then shall we take questions? Yeah. Now, we covered some very interesting features in demand forecasting. Now let's look at algorithmic auto-replenishment. Now, if you look at retail, there are 3 types of replenishment that can happen. One is what we call as DSD, direct to store replenishment. The next, what we call as warehouse to store replenishment. And the third type is you need to replenish your warehouse itself. So there are 3 types of replenishment that happens in grocery retail. And out of these 3, how many do you think is covered by order right? Audience? Come on, audience. All 3, of course. We covered all 3. And maybe we can just go to our order plan and let's see how we schedule. Now, if you look at replenishment, let me take a step back. If you look at replenishment, there are many kinds of replenishment frequency as well. For fresh products, you have much higher replenishment frequency, like daily. For some other products, you have maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly, maybe monthly replenishment. So in this product, we can basically schedule all of these things, right? So we can schedule all of these things, and then that is what we call as in-scheduled orders. So we can plan all of that. If something happens, let's say something has happened, so we have to do an out-of-order replenishment. Those kind of things will automatically get triggered by the system. So we can schedule in-schedule replenishment. Out-of-schedule replenishment will get automatically triggered. That is this product. So when we schedule it and run it, there's a replenishment algorithm which is absolutely world-class because we are actually considering all the supply-side variations as well into this algorithm. All the supply-side variations, right? All the supply-side variations that is not considered by typical software, right? What are these supply-side variations, right? So when you place an order, right, you think the lead time is 2 days. Sometimes it becomes 4 days. That's a supply-side variation. You order 100, you get only 90. That's a supply-side variation. All of these variables that we are listing here are captured and modeled, right? So we captured the demand, all of these volatility in the demand forecasting algorithm, and we capture all the supply-side variations from our replenishment algorithm, right? And that has not been done before, right? So we have now very, very strong 2 algorithms. And now let's think about this process, right? Data comes into the system, forecasts are updated real time. They are pushed into the optimization algorithm. Optimization algorithm does, as per the schedule, run the optimization algorithm and recommends orders, or it might, depending on the situation, it might automatically trigger an order, and now that goes to the downstream system. And that, my friends, is solving this retail scale problem. And this is what we call as hyperlocal demand forecasting and replenishment plan. All right. Now, I'm pretty sure you want to see a replenishment plan. Now, let's look at a replenishment plan. Right. So this is we are looking at the same replenishment plan for this product that we looked at, olive oil 1 liter. Now, the first thing I want to say is this is what this replenishment plan gives you. What is the location? What is the product? What is the order quantity? What is the date that the order needs to be placed? Right? What is the location? I'll repeat myself. What is the location? What is the product? You can see the location, you can see the product, you can see the dates, you can see the order in quantities. So, if you are a replenishment planner, is there anything more that you need to know about your replenishment order? Is there anything else? No. Come on, I need a, no, right? No, there's nothing. So, that's why we say, if anyone wanted to come up with a poster child for prescriptive AI, if anyone wanted to come up with a poster child for prescriptive AI, our replenishment plan would be that. It's the poster child. The poster. You cannot do any presentation without Taylor being there these days. Now, one last thing I want to show around replenishment. Enough of Taylor. One last thing. Look at, remember there was a demand spike? Remember there was a demand spike? Now, if you look at the order plans, we are cranking our orders up in preparation for that promotion. No human intervention, nothing. All of this happens automatically. You can see we are clearly cranking up the orders in preparation for that promotion or that demand uplift. Right? Now, people sometimes do this manually, not right, with some manual intervention, they can crank up their promotions. But what they forget is the demand shift. Remember the demand shift that we talked about? Remember the cannibalization effect we talked about? So, this demand has come from someone else. So, all of these manual planning, all of these planning systems, forget about that fact that the demand has actually shifted. So, while you crank this order up, you have to dial the other order down. And that's what OrderRight does automatically. And that is why, if you look at all the retailers, that's why sometimes they solve the availability problem, but they go out of stock. Sorry, they go overstock because they don't dial down, right? They don't dial down. With this behavior, we are cranking up for the promoted items, so the availability of that item is high. We are dialing down orders for the other item which is not on promotion, whose demand is cannibalized. We are dialing that down. So that's why, my dear friends, and that's how in OrderRight we can actually increase the availability and decrease the inventory levels at the same time. I think that deserves a round of applause. And none of this needs any human intervention. Now that's about demand planning, replenishment planning. Now let's we are actually coming to the home stretch of this presentation. Let's talk about home stretch of the presentation. Let's talk about how someone will use this on day-to-day operations, which is also very, very important. Let's talk about it. It's very, very simple. It's very plain. It's very simple. Now, if you're from senior management, you want to look at how all of these things impact your business KPIs, main business matrices. So we have given dashboards, and this is 100% customizable. We've used our platform. Our platform is embedded to OrderRight. We are using our merge platform to quickly build these customized dashboards. That's one way that people will use it during day-to-day operations. But that's maybe for an executive user. Now, if you're a demand planner, if you're a supply planner, most likely you will start with some alerts. There are many alerts in this system which are configurable. Actually, we have configured 5 alerts for this presentation. And frankly, I'm not even covering 25% of the features that we have. All of this is configurable. All of this is self-configurable. So a typical place a supply planner or a demand planner will start is they might start with some alerts. And they can look at the alerts and they can resolve it by themselves. So we have given multiple resolution options. We have given multiple resolution options. As an example, you can edit the forecast by yourself. You can adjust it to some kind of a threshold, so it will automatically get adjusted. Or you can ignore the alert. Or if you really think that there is some issue, and that is why it is getting alerted, you can actually even report to us. And all of these things, you can do it at single level. Remember, there are 1 million things. Of course, only very small amount will get alerted. All of these things, either we can do it at the individual level, like if you just click this, right? You can edit it in line as an example, as a resolution option. You can do that, or you can do all of these as a bulk operation, right? So you might look at this, you might resolve this, right? So that is what a demand planner or a supply planner might do. And then in retail, some of you know, your products always change, right? About 20% of your portfolio get renewed every year. So you might want to add new products into your planning cycles. So that is what this feature does, what we call as new product activation and new store activation. So all of these, in this example, all of these are new products which have automatically got captured by looking at the data. It comes to this front end. So as a user, you have 2 options. One, you can let algorithm handle these, all these new product activations. That's one option. That's the algorithmic option. Or if you want to manually intervene a little bit, give some input, you can do it. So there are many options that we have given for you to manually intervene as well. So that's the new product activation. Just like that, very, very similarly, right, we are handling new store activation as well. Again, very, very similar. You have the algorithmic option where you let the system handle the new store, or you have this manual intervention, some options where you can provide an input, right? So these are very, very important things in day-to-day operations. So as a user, right, you can quickly activate all these new products, new stores into the system. So the auto replenishment, auto demand forecasting automatically happens for all the new products, new stores as well, right? And once you are done with all of that, now what happens? Now you need to place an order. right? That is what we do in this last feature that I'm going to show, what we call as review and approval cycle. Now, this feature is also we can custom build because we've again used our platform. Some of these features we understand different organizations will have different approval levels, different ways of reviewing orders and approving orders. So here we can quickly, depending on each customer, we can quickly configure this. So in this example, in this hypothetical example, right, as a user, you can select the kind of orders that you want to review, right? You can select it by the time, or you can select it by the category. And then, in this example, we have some kind of a threshold. And if it actually surpasses that threshold, either you can adjust it yourself, or you can basically send it to another one level high review and approval cycle. So all of that is inbuilt into the system. So basically, we cover everything from data coming into the system and placing an order, a final order, a reviewed order with the vendor. That is what OrderRight does. And we do it at the hyper-local level. And as I said, I think we have many more features to show, but in the interest of time, let me stop here. But I guess all of you got some idea about OrderRight. And I think now, as Atul said, it's time to hyperscale. Let's go.
Thank you, Sanka. While the product and the features were great, there's, no good of a product if we can't sell it, right? So to bring about more awareness on the sales enablement and the go-to-market strategy, call upon Santosh to do the honors.
Thanks. Thanks, Rashmi. Shankar delivered with true passionate. Probably, I think we can see how much persuasion he has gone through. And Atul also mentioned, it's in a way a company creation through this product. Yeah.
And those were tough time, guys, in so many ways. Not only because of the challenges posed by COVID, but also the business challenges posed by COVID as well. Okay, so we have persevered with this product, with this idea. We have believed in our conviction. We had resource constraints. We had all kind of challenges. But I think Ravi and Shankar have been unflinching in their conviction and belief on OrderRight. And I'll always, in my mind, hold that very, 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 that inspires me. And in my book, I hold that very, very high at a personal level. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to give from a market and opportunity point of view. So that largely circumspect my role also. Right. Just to give a context, what Shankar was pointing out all in his demo, the variables, I think it's for you at a very high level, it looks like some variables are there and there are models which are solving. But this is a non-deterministic problem. In non-deterministic problem, very hard to get it right and get it consistently right every day. Example, very simple, like if number of eggs we need in a store has completely got wrong, then the amount of wastage it creates will kill that store on that day. That means the amount of profitability a store makes will be very, very marginal, and cost of error is super expensive. right? So, I mean, just to give the context here, there is an event called YM event, and now M5 is the forecasting event, which happened in somewhere in March 2020, where 100,000 participants were there in that event. It is the biggest forecasting event happened in the globe, till date. And more than 100,000 participants from 100 countries were part of that event. That event was on Walmart's retail data. Walmart discloses every 2 years their inherent sales data representing 3 to 4 states, 45 big stores, etc. Right? So in that context, the amount of persuasion needed to solve those problems are very high. All of the winners were using ML models, be it gradient boost, be it the neural networks, kind of things. Now the question comes is, what do other retailers in the world are solving with, right? Because I bet not many, like very handful of retailers in the world are using ML models to solve those decision parameters. And this event alone has proven, not only this event, even the last event which happened, where the top models were gradient boost, ensemble models which came out on top. That means currently handful of people are using this. Majority, more percentage of the people are still stuck in the world of Excel or ERPs or their own heuristics approach to solve. This shows a massive opportunity in front of us. That's just to set a context before I move towards. Yeah. And to validate that, the Gartner's, which has prophesied in terms of a few years back, how do the maturity model looks like? I don't spend too much time here. The maturity is from react to orchestrate. That's how the decision has to move. This is from the point of Gartner. And most of the retailers, as probably in the journey of React, which is Excel-centric heuristics, or some kind of tribal knowledge, that's where most of them are here. Probably with ERP, they have done with better integrations, integrating to the ecosystems. That's it. To move to the level of collaborate, orchestrate, very, very handful of retailers or best of the best companies will go to that. So that's the more of validation from what's out there from a thinking community kind of things. Moving to the next, whenever the word OR came to me, very first time, maybe roughly a year back, the word OR came to me, I always thought OR is orchestrate retail. I never thought OR is order right. Because for me, order right is a very smallest or kind of area, but I think in itself it can address the whole space of how we can orchestrate retail through data and through decisions. Because we have, through this demo, we've seen that the amount of influence on the decision to make is huge. That's where I always use that word OR to generate the kind of motion around orchestrate retail. We as an algonomy are in those cusp of the innovations to orchestrate decisions. That's something which I want to emphasize in going forward. So moving from orchestrate to retail to orchestrate revenue, Atul told in my first discussions, you should be revenue focused, right? So with this product, when he meant revenue focused, he meant customer focused, right? What do the true customer pain points are being, and how do we decipher our value proposition to that customer through these kind of products or innovations which it really have a long-lasting implications. And soon we will see our platform through which we have seen with one of the biggest retailer where he disclosed, we will be soon seeing almost 3 million optimization being generated daily. I mean, generating 3 million optimization on a day-to-day level is something historic, but that is just a day zero for us. he said day one, but it's day zero from an Amazon point of view, or from those kind of wavelength, right? So now from 3 million, we need this platform has to see 100 billion optimization, sorry, 1 billion optimization. That is something which I envisage, and we are stepping into 3 million now. I think that's a good starting point. So that's the part of how we try to orchestrate revenue, just to tell how many optimization this platform drives, that much of reach we will create. Now moving to the other OR, which in my view is opportunity to reach. Through this product which we saw, what we are trying to build using this product sandbox is to build the champion community. As in the recent article which I came through, Dev Itacharya, who is the CEO of MongoDB, positioned that his whole GTM motion was around building the champion community. So in my view, this product could be anchored well around the champion community, because in his words, who are the champions? He distinguished between champions and coaches. Champions are the one who start selling product in that organization once the sales leave the respective organization, right? So champions are the one who are the change agents who sits with that. And what Shankar told is, seeing is believing. Now we have a product. This is a sandbox to that champion community to really empower them to drive the change in that organization. That's, for me, it's an opportunity to reach. This whole demo of OR 6.0 gives me that sandbox to take to that community and drive that momentum. It also gives me the opportunity to build the partnership bridges. Atul pointed out it as Gangotri. For me, it is like a Lego model. This is the first foundational, a kind of citadel of that Lego model where the next connection starts building up. That goes to the partnership. We are making some inroads into that. I will keep bringing you into those perspective later. So how best we can connect and drive towards the word orchestrate with better partnerships and drive and move over there. With that, what we are creating is the network effect. So network effect would give a long-lasting utility. So moving from there to my last slide. So to close, this is more of an optimistic roadmap. Why optimistic roadmap is what we have now is the first step in creating the studio. This studio we will be taking to our customers to co-create, collaborate, and build very bespoke solutions to them that generates a composable journey to drive the cognitive solutions. I think this is how I sum up this session and how we want to drive to the market, in more of optimistic way. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Santosh. While we saw a lot of heroes here presenting the product, I think there are a lot of champions working behind the scenes who've made this day possible and OrderRite 6.0 possible. Since all of them are not able to join us today, let's come together to give a salute to all the champions behind OrderRite. And with that, we have a wrap on today's function. There are some snacks for all of you to enjoy. Thank you so much for taking time out and visiting this launch and supporting the product. So thanks, everyone.
I want to thank all those who have joined us online. I see a 95% viewership on our YouTube right now. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining there. Thank you.